Yo, what is going on, guys? So on today's episode, we're going to be breaking down this video right here of a woman who could not lock down Chad. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump right into the video.
Let me start off by saying I met a guy 3-4 weeks ago on Tinder. I know you all are going to be judging right off of the bat. He had a way with words. He complimented me a lot. I remember our first date, we spent 7 hours together and it was like so magical. We didn't kiss, we didn't touch or anything. I was really into him. We had a lot in common. We had the same goofy sense of humor. He made me laugh, I made him laugh. And after our first date, we proceeded to hang out almost every day or every other day. We were constantly together.
Guys, this stuff only works if you're highly attractive, okay? If you're a regular dude and you're going out here complimenting girls, telling them that they're beautiful, telling them that you want to spend time with them and you want to hang out at every opportunity, right? Girls are just going to brush past you like it's nothing, man. This stuff only works if you're highly attractive. When girls complain about love bombing, because that's what a lot of this is, guys, if you don't know what that is, I'd encourage you to look it up. When girls complain about love bombing, they're complaining about Chad's doing it to them. They're not complaining about the average guy. Okay, she's talking about the top percentage of dude who gives her those compliments.
And he always made time for me. He said that whenever I wanted to hang out, he would make time for me because he was going to be leaving on a month-long trip in a few weeks. So he wanted to dedicate as much time to me as possible, which I really appreciated. And he just knew the right words to say, which at first made me very cautious because I know guys like that. They have the silver tongue, they have a way with words, they know exactly the right words to say.
And the reason why she knows those types of guys, you know, is because those are the men who she chooses to date. Guys, these girls will be like, oh, you know, I'm so scared about opening up and, you know, relationships are difficult for me because of my past. And what she's talking about here is the many dudes that she's been with who are the exact same, right? See, dudes don't have to do, guys who are highly attractive, you know, don't have to do much to hook these women. You know, just sell them a bit of a dream, like, yeah, I'll give you maybe a relationship in the future. I'll talk briefly about marriage for 2 seconds. And these girls are like, please, you know, and then they chase after them and trip over themselves and do all this stupid crap, guys. But it's pretty funny to watch, right? The reason why she says that is because her dating history is nothing but those guys, you know? She makes the same mistake over and over again, guys, and this is what girls do all throughout their 20s.
But it's all talk, and I always believe that actions speak louder than words. So things progressed between us, and he was constantly telling me how he had deep feelings for me, and I began to open up as well, which is really hard for me to do after a lot of the things I've been through in my life.
After a lot of men have not committed to her. That's what it is, guys, you know. Girls always, I'm telling you, man, they've always got this sob story. It'll be like this or like some variant of it that you will get from women, guys. This is why dudes in marriages, right? Dudes in long-term relationships, you'll be sold this little lie of like, oh, not tonight, honey, you know, and then if you press her about it, she'll say like, oh, it's because of my past, and you know, it's just so difficult for me to open up because of my past. And what she's talking about there, guys, is the past Chads that she's been with. Okay, because she couldn't get commitment from them. But you see, the thing is, gentlemen, if the girl is highly attracted to the dude, oh, she'll bounce on over to his house at 2 a.m. She'll be happy. She'll wake up. She'll put her makeup on. She'll drive an hour in a thunderstorm, guys. She will be there for that 20 minutes of time because, hey, she doesn't know when she's going to see that guy again, you know? But for the husband, for the long-term boyfriend that gives her everything, guys, you know, who cares for her kids, who does all these sorts of things, you know, I'm talking about single mothers and crap now here, not necessarily this woman in the video. But, you know, guys will be out here just giving their souls to these girls, man. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'd love to reciprocate, but my past, right? Her past is just bad boys, guys. That's what it is.
I like to move at a slower pace with relationships because I just like to take my time in getting to know somebody before I commit to any words. So I was just feeling out the situation, and after about a week of hanging out together, there were...
She was just, guys, don't worry, boys. She was just feeling out the situation and seeing how things felt. Yeah, like, I'm sure. There are things that I can't say on YouTube right now, guys, but can we all just understand? Like, we all know what she means. You get me? Like, when she says that I'm feeling out the situation and we were just hanging out, you weren't just hanging out, you were casually hooking up, okay? Now, that's fine, but let's just call it for what it is, right? So much of this like smoke and mirrors, guys. I call this stuff being a professional victim. That's what I call this at this point, guys. It's always like, oh, everything is nothing my fault. You know, nothing's ever my fault, excuse me. I think a really healthy mentality to have, guys. I don't particularly talk about this much on the channel, but I think a really good mentality for particularly young dudes, just dudes in general to have, guys, is, you know, take responsibility for for everything in your life. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're a fat piece of crap and your health is terrible and you don't go to the gym, you can't blame Stacy down the road because she broke your heart. You know what I mean, man? It's about taking responsibility for these things. And these girls are just professional at avoiding responsibility, guys.
Some definite red flags. It seemed like he surrounded himself with a lot of women, and a lot of the women he surrounded himself with, he told me, liked him or had a crush on him or had previously dated him. And that made me a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm not the type of person who will tell people how they can and can't live their life. So I just decided to accept it, and I said, you know what, he really likes me. He says he has feelings for me. It doesn't matter that all these women around him like him as well. And I'm a very passive-aggressive person, and if something kind of bothers me, I tend to keep it to myself and bottle it up instead of letting the person know. But I felt like it was too soon to express my concerns with him, so
You felt as though it was too soon to show how crazy you are. That's what it is. You see, guys, these girls would try and like brush it off as some kind of like moral reasoning why they do these things. Like, oh, I didn't want to, you know, do this because I didn't want to bother him, like all this kind of crap. It's like, no, you didn't do those things because you didn't want him to realize that you were psycho. You know what I mean? It's like if you started going off at him and saying, oh, you can't talk to Stacy, you can't talk to this girl, you can't talk to that girl, right off the bat, he's never going to give you that relationship. You didn't do it out of some sort of like mutual compassion or because you want to be respectful of how other people live their lives. That's not why you did it. You did it because it is too much of a risk for you to do, and in doing so, you'd push him away. Right? These girls, guys, I'm telling you, man, they paint everything like they do it for some nice reason, but the reason is really like they don't want to scare the dude away. Like, I've watched a little bit more of this video, guys, and there's more examples of this.
I just kind of let it go, but it definitely was uncomfortable, especially because the women that liked him gave me some not so nice looks when we were out together. And it was extremely uncomfortable. And on top of that, he was very insecure and a very jealous person. And if we were to go out with him and his friends, or him and one of his friends, if I would pay more attention to his friend or anybody else, he would bring it to my attention and let me know that it made him jealous. And he also constantly questioned whether I was attracted to him. Very, very insecure about the way that I felt towards him, even though I made it very clear several times how I felt for him. And I'm not really a talker, I'm more of a doer, so if I care about somebody, I'll do things for them. So like, I remember one day I brought like a bunch of material and I made him Nutella cinnamon buns from scratch. I bought him a waffle maker just because I thought it'd be a cute thing to like wake up in the morning and make us waffles. I even offered to go into his work and help him with some social media stuff. I also spent about $140 on his website and ordered products that I was going to, as a surprise, talk about and wear on my YouTube channel.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, the end part tells you that the guy's an entrepreneur, okay? He has like some sort of brand or, you know, clothing, apparel going on. So, guys, everything is kind of leading me to believe that this guy is somewhat successful. He has a clue in life and he's quite attractive because he attracts other girls. A few points to make on this. Girls will always gravitate towards the men who already have women, guys. So she'll complain about, oh, he has other girls and stuff like that. That's part of the reason why she's actually there. You know what I mean? Girls aren't hanging around dudes that have no girls, really. They're really not, because to them it shows, like, subconsciously it shows that the guy isn't worth much, that at least in their mind, right? You can, and that's obviously messed up. There are plenty of fantastic men, guys who are hard workers who have no girls, for example, but in their mind they're like, you know, why do I want to be with a guy that no other girl wants, kind of thing. And the other point to make there, guys, is like her getting him a waffle maker, she said, right, doing these bits and pieces. She's not doing that out of compassion, guys. She does this stuff because she wants something in return. She wants a relationship out of the guy. And one final point to make there is that, you know, she says there that the guy is insecure. This part right here leads me to believe that the guy knows what he's doing. You know, he's he knows what he's doing. He knows how to press the buttons, because when you say this to a girl, like when a girl invests in you, let's just say, for example, she gets you a waffle maker, okay? You guys hang out every day. She's presumably complimenting or whatever. And then the guy turns around and says, oh, I don't think you like me that much. I get jealous. It hits her with a bunch of emotions because she's like, what? How come, you're not seeing all this effort I'm putting in? I need to double down. And it gets these girls hyper emotional. It's kind of like a manipulation tactic. And this tells me that the guy really knows what he's doing. But trust me, I really don't think that the guy's insecure. I think he's just pushing her buttons
in order to show him how much he really meant to me. And so maybe I didn't reassure him about my feelings towards him with words like he did with me, but definitely with actions. And so that is why what he did to me is completely unacceptable. And
what he did to me was unacceptable. Bro, you didn't have a relationship. You have nothing. You are a side girl. His behavior was completely unacceptable. Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, you think you're somebody in this dude's life. You're really not. That's the funny part. It's like, his behavior was unacceptable. I'm sorry. Where's your ring? Right? Where's your relationship with the dude?
Caused me to end all contact with him. We were supposed to go on a very extravagant dinner date on a Monday. I didn't really know much about the place that he invited me to, but my friend Lexi told me that this place is a big deal, that her ex-husband took them there on a second date, and that this was like the real fucking deal. So I was extremely excited. And then he
yeah, because off in her head is going off like, maybe we're going to get married, or I'm going to be the one that finally won him over. I'm going to be the girl that he chose. So she's getting all these like ideas of grandiosity in her head, like, oh, marriage is down the line. I'm the one for him. And and he's kind of drip feeding her this, right? But it's just funny, like these girls, they get so excited. They're like, oh, Chad's going to take me seriously. But then obviously, you'll see what happens.
Texts me around noon and tells me that he had been out drinking really late the night before and that he was going to have to cancel plans. So then we decided to reschedule our plans to 2 days ahead. The day of our date, I knew something was wrong. I even asked him, like, you're not going to blow me off or anything, right? I just had this weird feeling in the pit of my stomach. 3 hours before the date, he texts me to let me know that some of his friends are in town and that he needs to go meet up with them and that he'll have to push dinner plans back a little bit later tonight.
Yeah, that weird sense that you get in the back of your head, that's called common sense. Common sense would tell you that the guy's probably going to cancel or shift times on you again. You see, that little voice in the back of your head saying, oh, maybe he won't commit to me, that should actually be at the forefront, because that's what we like to call common sense, right?
9 o'clock, so I didn't want to be difficult, and I didn't want to come in the way of him and his friends.
Bro, stop. So if you didn't catch that, okay, what she said was the date got postponed because he said that he was going to meet with some friends who had just arrived in the country, or, where they were at, kind of thing. And it was short notice. So he was going to hang out with the friends. And she said, oh, well, I didn't want to interrupt and come between him and his friends, so I accepted the reschedule. No. It's not that you were nice and you didn't want to come between him and his friends. It's because you know that if you didn't accept that reschedule, that you might not see him again. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you didn't accept that reschedule because you're a nice person and you give a crap. Think of all the times, gentlemen, girls like this have flaked on you, have never turned up, right? Tried to reschedule stuff, and then like these girls will play so much bullcrap when it comes to dating, guys. But when it happens to them, oh, it's just totally unacceptable. It's just totally terrible behavior. But make no mistake, guys, she did not reschedule. She did not agree to reschedule because she's a nice person. She agreed to reschedule because she had no other option and she wasn't sure if she was going to see the guy again. That's what it is. Please, guys, do not buy into this like victim crap of I'm a nice person, so that's why I did X. No.
I was a bit disappointed because this is the second time that this was happening, and don't get me so excited to go on a date and do something with you and then just repeatedly blow me off or make me feel like the plans don't matter to you. So he just said friends. I assumed it was some of his guy friends, or maybe his guy friends and some of their girlfriends in town. I thought it was weird that they flew all the way here from the Middle East and didn't tell him until just a few hours ago. So I said, okay, we'll meet up with them and then we'll meet up for dinner. And then I asked him, well, if your friends are here from all the way over fucking yonder, don't they want to spend the night with you? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, are they invited out to dinner with us? And he said, yeah, maybe. And I was like, okay, well, I had Lexi with me at that point. I said, okay, well, can I bring Lexi then? Because I guess it's like a group event now. And he said, sure. So Lexi and I got ready together and we went to the restaurant, and We show up on time at the time that we had specified, and we wait. There's no reservation, which I thought was weird because this is the type of place where you usually get a reservation. And we waited for about an hour and a half. I had 2 drinks on a mostly empty stomach, so I did get kind of drunk pretty quickly.
This woman, right, see, this is why, gentlemen, when girls say like, oh, I'm busy, I can't hang out this day, or I can't hang out that day. Look, sometimes they might have a valid reason, okay, sometimes, but most of the time, guys, they really have nothing going on. This woman literally went to a restaurant where there was no reservation to wait an hour and a half for this man, okay? And that's why I say, guys, like, if she likes you, I mean, I'm telling you, man, girls will drive through thunderstorms, snowstorms. They'll get ready in the middle of the night. They'll, you know, screw up their sleep schedule to make time for yours because they're not sure when they're going to see you. It's like girls will shift everything, man, for the guy that they really like, because that guy that they like comes at the top of the priorities, okay? That's why, guys, when girls attempt to reschedule, if you're a dude who's out there dating, I know we've got a lot of dudes over here who are choosing to not date. Absolutely fair enough. For those guys who are choosing to date right now, if a girl tries to reschedule on you guys, withdraw the offer. Just withdraw the offer. You know what I mean? AMS said this one to me, man. It's always stuck into my head, which is just say to them like, just say, sounds like you got a lot going on. Don't worry about it. And just leave it at that, guys. Just leave it at that. These girls, they don't deserve your attention, guys, because for the dude that they're actually attracted to, oh, everything. You know, if she's got kids, man, she'll find a babysitter for the dudes who are out there going with single mothers, which, by the way, don't do that. You know what I mean, guys? Like, they'll just move everything out of their life for the dudes that they're attracted to. So keep in mind, this woman waited an hour and a half at a restaurant, had 2 glasses of wine, okay? And that's where we are.
And about an hour and a half later, he walks in with 5 women. And one of them I notice as a girl that he has told me likes him. So my heart kind of dropped. And I just couldn't believe that he would have the nerve to do this. And he immediately noticed that something was wrong. He saw the look on my face, which was literally like this. We said hello, we shook hands, and I think he started to realize that I was upset. So he took the girls outside and then went back inside and told me that they were going to a different restaurant. And I said, okay, which was funny because I could clearly see them walking to the upstairs portion of the restaurant, so he lied about that. They were still having dinner at that restaurant. They were only having it upstairs in like the exclusive restaurant area, whereas I was in the lounge, which had a limited menu, which I thought was like great. So they're going up to like the VIP section and I'm just gonna chill here, and I just felt like such shit, guys. I felt like fucking garbage, honestly.
Yeah, and that's the reason why you're down there and you waited an hour and a half for this is because you're the side chick. You're not a girlfriend, you're not a wife, you're not nothing like that, okay? You think that you're a lot more than you actually are in the situation. And guys, just imagine how much that would have stung this girl, by the way. Imagine, right? You're this girl. You were hooking up with the dude, okay, for like multiple days, seeing each other every day. He was telling you that he cares about you. And then he like rocks up to this restaurant with other women. He's an hour and a half late or whatever. And then he doesn't even hug the girl, man. He doesn't even do that thing where you like, you know, you give her a half hug to the side. He walks up and he shakes her hand in front of these girls. That's gotta sting, man. And that's absolutely funny because what a handshake says, guys, is like, you know, it removes any sort of like the romantic crap out of it. You get me? Like, it's not nearly as intimate. You're shaking her hand as if she's a business partner, and this girl's thinking in her head like, what? You know, yesterday this guy saw me for 20 minutes and we had a fantastic time. Or the other day, but now he's here shaking my hand. This girl would have been in her feelings so bad, man.
And I tried to suck it up and I tried to like be happy and have a good time, but I just started crumbling. I started to fall apart the more and more I drank because I couldn't believe that this person would put me in such an uncomfortable situation. He kept going outside to smoke a cigarette, but I would see him go upstairs and like hang out with the girls and talk to the girls, and I knew that his friends probably thought I was a crazy bitch or something, but they didn't realize that like I was waiting there for an hour and a half. This was a situation that I wasn't even prepared for. At least if he had texted me and told me like, hey, by the way, like I'm bringing all girls and one of them is the girl that likes me. Like, who does that? Like, seriously, who does that, right? And then I think the icing on the cake was when I went to the bathroom and the girl that likes him was also going to the bathroom bathroom at the same time, and she noticed I was visibly upset. So she was like, come on, let's go to the bathroom together. Like, let's talk, what's going on? And
I've got to pause it there, man, because there are just too many lies that she's throwing out. She says that, you know, she was sitting in the lounge below, right, and the guy was going between or whatever, and the girl who was upstairs who liked him came and walked past her. She noticed that she was visibly upset, so then she said, come on, let's go have a chat in the bathroom. Guys, if I was a betting man, I would bet money on the fact that that is not true. See, what I think happened is that this girl, you know, she had a couple drinks downstairs, she got a bit intoxicated, whatever, and when the girl went to go to the bathroom, she struck up a conversation with the girl, asking questions about the guy, and then they went to the bathroom together, right? That's the thing about this gentleman, is like, she'll like twist just little details, you know, until the story is just nothing like what it actually is. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, this whole situation, by the way, this guy he 100% knows what he's doing, man. Like, for example, guys, think about this for a second, okay? The building must be set up in such a way that he knows that she can see him when he goes up to the balcony with the other girls. Like, it would not surprise me, man, if this guy knew the position on the balcony to take the women so that the woman that he leaves downstairs could see him upstairs with the other women, guys. You know what I mean? It would not surprise me if this man knew to do that and that was like his strategy or whatever. And look at that, guys. It worked like a charm.
she was completely oblivious to everything that was going on, and she told me that although they were an hour and a half late, she had no idea, and that he kept telling everybody to take their time and that there was no rush and that they still had 20 minutes. So basically he was late on purpose and he didn't even care. So I think that's when I lost it and I kind of went psycho, and I also blacked out and I don't remember the rest of the evening. I remember texting one of my friends who is from the same country he is from, and I asked my friend, is this normal? Like, is this customary where you're from? And he said, absolutely not. And I know my own self-worth and I won't be treated like that by somebody. I'm a strong, independent, successful female, and I don't need
guys, I'm trying to hold it in. Like, I tried to keep a straight face there, guys. But when I hear this, like, I'm a strong, independent woman and I know my worth. Yeah, I think we all know it. I think we all know your worth. You know, and guys, stuff like this, it's really sad because what ends up happening is, like, if you're a guy, right, and you go through just living your life, you won't really know this stuff. Right, you won't know the degree to which these girls manipulate situations to paint themselves as the victim. Right, there are plenty of guys out here that they'd hear this story and they'd be like, "Oh, you know, Queen, you had it so rough. You know, he lied to you. Yeah, he treated you terribly." But guys, let's just take pause for a moment to recognize the fact that we are looking at an adult here. Okay, like, memes aside, guys, this woman is an adult. She's made the same mistake many, many times in her life, and there are other opportunities available to her. She could date a guy who is going to take her seriously. She could date a guy who's going to give her a relationship, who's going to give her marriage, but she wants that bad boy who all the other women are chasing, who, you know, sounds successful, at least in his business life, who, you know, is busy often, at least maybe he's lying about it, but, you know, for all intents and purposes, guys, it seems like a guy who's attractive, who's on the ball, who's got his money right, okay? And the thing about that is, if a guy like that is surrounded by multiple other women, which he likely will be, I have no sympathy for these girls who go out here and compete for 10 plus years at a time to try and get that guy time after time after time. Because while they're doing this, guys, what you got to think, right? This woman right here, in the meantime, what's she doing to all the other guys? The orbiters. She's got a bunch of orbiters, guys, on Tinder, whatever dating app she's on Instagram, who she's just letting, you know, she's keeping them there. You know what I mean? Maybe for a rainy day she'll deal with. So while this is happening to her, quote unquote, happening to her, right? She's doing this 10-fold, 20-fold, 30-fold to other men. So I truly have no sympathy, guys. I just absolutely do not
need anybody playing with me or toying with me. I need a strong man with a good head on his shoulders. And I was very mad at myself because I thought that after all these years of all the crap and crazy shit I've been through, that I would know
going from Chad to Chad
better and that I'd be wiser to these things. But life never stops teaching you lessons. It'll happen all throughout your life where people will throw you for a spin. Pain is like the spice of life. If there was no pain, if there was no struggle, if there was no heartache, there would also be no joy and love. Sometimes the heart
Guys, I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, these girls just paint the picture, right? See, we as guys, gentlemen, like, you know, I don't speak for all men when I say this, but I think there's a general trend where, you know, dudes, we like consistency, we like stability, okay? We're not out here seeking, like, oh, yeah, like, these girls, man, they fall in love with anxiety. They fall in love with fear, okay? To make a man happy, it's really, guys really don't ask for much in relationships. Loyalty, stability, you know, don't be a psycho, and be reasonably attractive. And most guys will be happy, you know, being with you for a very long period of time, guys. And that's what a man's love typically looks like. These girls, guys, they can't listen to what she just said there. If there was no pain, if there was no heartbreak, there'd be no love, and there'd be no compassion, or whatever the crap she said. But basically, she's highlighting that in order for her to feel love, guys, she needs to go through pain. And look, that's a really messed up thing. And you know what, guys? That's all too common with these modern women, guys. It's sickeningly common, is what it is.
The harder you fall, the higher you bounce back. A week has gone by and I am not mad at myself anymore. I know that we are human and we all make mistakes. I don't even blame him, and I'm not really mad at him. I think that what he did may have been a result of his insecurity. Maybe something happened in his life that made him act out this way and makes him believe that it's okay to do things like this with women. And so I don't have any hatred or anger towards him. I just have compassion and understanding. And
Guys, you gotta love how when these women get rejected, it's like, oh, he's insecure, right? He didn't give me a relationship. He treated me like crap. He didn't want to deal with me. He didn't want to make me his wife, his girlfriend. Well, obviously that means that he's insecure, right? It's obviously just a reflection of him. It's got nothing to do with me. It's all on him. And that, you know, it's just unacceptable behavior for him to do. And obviously, you know, we had a girl in the other video say, like, men like this, they don't love their mothers. It's like, excuse me, man. You know, these girls have no idea what they're talking about. And you know what, guys? They will make the same quote-unquote mistake time and time again, gentlemen, until they are 40 plus years old alone with the cats. Gentlemen, we're going to be leaving today's video there. As always, make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments, guys. And as always, gentlemen, make sure you take care of yourselves. And I'll be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.